You know, legend tells Lewis and Clark expedition passed here through this special place in Missouri, just north of Kansas. You know, we are in Kansas City, the city of two states. And excited to show you guys Badrock Creek. It was named Badrock because apparently there's some bad rocks getting in the way of their ships and their voyage. I don't know where the river that they would have a ship in is around here. Hopefully we don't find it on the course, but let's check it out. I'm Connor O'Reilly with Team Cardinal Disc Golf, OTB Discs, and Loot Bags, and we're in for a treat today. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. We are back in Kansas City for the 43rd Kansas City Wide Open. This is presented by Grip Equipment, and we're at Badrock Creek. This is one of the hardest, if not the hardest, course in the area, and they've made it more difficult since I played it last 2 years ago. Really like the changes out here. It forces you to make decisions on a lot of the holes, and a lot of times par is a good score, especially with this howling wind we have today. Let's check it out. Starting off here on hole 1 with a difficult par 4, though it is short. Definitely a hole that you could see big eagles, especially in today's tailwind setup. I don't know if we're gonna have this same wind come tournament time. It's only 575, pretty generously down the hill. The issue is there's an out of bounds pond on the short side here and a couple pockets of out of bounds as you approach, so play a layup off to the left and chip it up is what most people are gonna do unless you're really trying to go for the big one. I'm just gonna take stiletto, try to make sure I'm in bounds with maybe like 200 feet in. Now there's a bubble out there in the landing that's about 500 feet away, but I feel like unless you're going for the pin, it's not worth doing more than going to the corner there, chipping up. They added some dye to these ponds, so they're not the natural brown color they once were. Now they have this blue hue to them. Let me know in the comments. Are you guys aware of what they use to dye ponds with? If so, as long as the fish are okay, I think we're fine with it. All right, Luke's telling us to come on in. I'm gonna use them as my backdrop. Got about 200. Go Sake Bomb Slammer on it. Uh-oh. Let's go. Circled Andrew Marweed. We missed on the safe side, and that's how you do it. Safe misses all week, baby. It is a beautiful green, though, I gotta say. Shout out to everyone who's put in work out here. Course looks better every time I see it. As you guys are gonna be able to tell by the flags on top of the baskets and on the feather banners, 20 plus miles per hour wind out here today. Coming from the south, important to note as you practice, kind of get ready for maybe what it'll be when it shifts for the tourney. And not the easiest 17 footer there with the right to left crosswind. Happy to knock that down, get our round started with a birdie, because this course is difficult and you have to earn every single one. Goal for this practice round and for the week is to finish under par every round, just to keep fighting, understand that pars are gonna play fine on a lot of these holes. Can't lie to you guys, I already miss being in the land of HEB, and I've only been gone for a couple days now, because I did check back into Austin last week to see Megan, see the family, shout out to my little brother Shay, it was his 24th birthday. And yeah, I gotta bust out a little mid-round snack. I know we're only one hole in, but we gotta stay fueled, and we're letting these guys finish up their hole, so you know, we're here waiting. These apple strawberry pouches, I like the ones with the blueberry in it as well, or the blackberry. These are really good. It's just a fruit and yogurt blend. It's got apple puree, banana puree, strawberry, Greek yogurt, whole milk, dry milk, cultures. You know, we love some culture. We love culture around here, so that's why we be drinking these things. Eating, drinking, what is it? You tell me. Organic lemon juice. Everything is natural in this. No added artificial flavors and stuff. You just twist off your little top. You don't have to eat the gummy worms on the course to get those bad sugars. Give yourself some good sugars, the probiotics of some yogurt and make your tummy happy. Who doesn't love some drinkable applesauce yogurt, appert sauce? We all do. Miss you, HEB. Sponsor me. For those of you who have watched my previous video from 2 years ago out here, if you haven't already, go check it out. And you can see what they changed from that video until today. I played with Cole Radalin that day. He was a fun guest for sure, very knowledgeable player. And you'll recognize these two telephone posts creating the gap here for hole 2. Now though, instead of playing this short basket straight ahead, we're gonna be playing to that long basket up there. Reads 359 by the laser, but it's gonna play at least 35 feet up the hill or so. And into this right to left head cross. It's definitely gonna be playing long today. I'm gonna go PD, Nordic Phenom. Make sure to put it over on a little bit of turn. And if anything, that crosswind will just kind of smash it down. You don't wanna lift it and high zero B here. Quite a bit of space, but it does narrow down as you get closer to the basket. Grip's not right, gotta get the loot. Give me the loot. Oh yeah, one last little wind read. Now the grip's right. That FPO pin definitely slightly in the line while you practice, but that's kind of the case on a lot of the holes we play throughout the year. I feel like that was a good conservative line. I might be circle's edge short, but that's gonna be inbounds every time. The driver might use a little bit too much width of the fairway here, even though it is a pretty generous fairway once you're out of this gap. And like I said, I don't need to be gun-ho, really going for every single birdie out here as much as giving myself safe opportunities. Now something you couldn't see off the tee is these two big mounds they have built up with these bad rocks, if you will, on top. Just creating some more obstacle for an otherwise pretty open hole. Beautiful wedding cake green. They've been putting in work out here in KC, and it shows. Step one to making headwind elevated putts. Get your wind read and your grip right with the loop bag. Head slightly off to the right here. Visualize your shot going in. Pump fake to make sure your footing's all right and remind yourself the stroke you want. And then you let it fly. Oh, didn't quite get the lift. But like we said, safe misses are gonna keep us in contention here. And that's where we're gonna be. Mark my words. Okay, hole 3, another hole that stayed the same. Maybe the out of bounds is slightly changed, but I don't even think so. It seems like the same out of bounds. Maybe this gap has cleaned up a slight bit, but it seems like the exact same gap as we played before. Dual option gap on this 605 foot par 4, where you're gonna throw a shorter shot on your first than you do on the second, almost guaranteed, forced by the course design, which I definitely like here. I still would like a little bit of trimming of this gap, but it's there is a pure line. You just gotta hit it small. Forehand gap is a little bit wider, and I feel like helps you get up the hill a little bit more, giving you flatter footing on the second, which can be a very big advantage. Throwing uphill and a big shot can be very difficult to do both of those at the same time. Right side backhand gap is going to be the preference for certain players, just if they don't trust the forehand as much. But I'm thinking I like the forehand, especially the way that a disc spinning on the clockwise nature, counterclockwise nature of the forehand is going to most likely kick off to the right, whereas those backhands are going to kick down left, be double stuck on the corner. We don't like that. It's bad enough to be stuck. We don't want to be double stuck. I'm going to go Fossil Raptor. Shout out Esmentini Dyes. If you want some sweet dyes, look at the description below. You'll find how to contact him. He does so much more than just Pokemon too, so anything you want. All right, hit this left side. Try to get up top. Oh yeah, there it is. Right to left of wind as calculated, kind of pushed me over just a bit. And I got up to the flat footing. That's position 1A right there. Doesn't get much better. We got 391 in here, pretty strong tailwind setup. And like I said, this is where the footing is nice if you can push up the hill. A little bit easier than to deal with that down, or that side slope footing. Y'all going forehand or backhand on that gap? Forehand, right? That's how you get up top too, I feel like. Yeah. I'm gonna go stiletto in, play wide of the big telephone poles, drag it back. Shout out to the groundskeeper. That was the perfect height of grass. I love it. I think hole 3 plays so well forces something specific off the tee, kind of gives you the wooded feel, and then you're out here in the wide open Kansas City. Wide open that is. I purposely tried to get spit out there. 2 down through 3. Pretty happy with that. This is one of those holes. Having a stress-free bullseye birdie feels really good because it can get away from you. And yeah, you don't want to find your first bogey that early in the round. You want to keep on battling. And that's what we're going to do all day. All right, I want to know y'all's thoughts on what you think a 1,000 rated round is going to be out here at Badrock Creek. I feel like if the wind persists and the rain that shows it's coming is still coming, I feel like this course is going to play really tough. I could see even par playing 10-20. So yeah, y'all let me know in the comments, what do you think even par is going to rate, or what do you think a 1,000 rated round is going to be? We have a new tee here for hole 4. It looks like a theme. Every second hole, the even holes have been changed. We'll see if that sticks on as a theme throughout. I think it stays through 6, 7. Okay, 8's the first hole where we don't have a changed even hole, so it doesn't stay throughout the course, not a theme. This one though, 939 feet, slightly downhill off the tee, as you can see, out of bounds left and right, dog legs, about 90 degrees off to the right here. Slightly downhill on the first shot and on the second shot, so it does aid you in the 930 feet of distance on this par 4. Pretty strong tailwind at the moment. Gonna make this tee shot a little interesting. I was thinking backhand turnover, something to try to get me towards that stand of trees way down the distance, but I heard people are trying rollers as well. So I might try a roller just to see how it works out. Because if there's a roller party, you know I'm in. You know I'm in. I'm gonna try the Opto hatchet. See if I can get it to flip for me. Probably not the smartest decision, but it wrapped around Robert and we got the safe call. There we go, we'll take it. I'm gonna throw one more air shot just for practice. It ain't Allen Iverson, but Kobe Bryant, baby. All right, I'm gonna try one, kind of turning backhand here. Flexing backhand, I should say. Yeah, that one's gonna be a little bit closer, a little bit easier to pull off. I think if it's this windy, I'll probably do that, but I had to try the roller. Okay, here's that roller shot. And as you can see, a little bit long of the gap. So roller party, I will not be joining. And like I mentioned earlier, this course is gonna be all about keeping it smart, playing pars as mistakes, scoring your birdies when possible. This one does feel like one of the easier birdies to get, especially if you just don't do anything dumb on the first shot. At least one of the easier birdies to have a chance on without having like a super big bogey risk. It is a pretty generous hole with the downhill on both shots. And because of that, I will not be throwing roller. Where are you at, Kobe Bryant? We've got another man-made obstacle, or pair of them here. As you approach the green, you got these boulders on top of the pile of mulch, and I think this is a great idea. If you don't have a huge budget to build a little hillside, just mulch some trees that you're inevitably going to be cutting at your course anyways, and let those create the hill on their own. Probably a lot cheaper than getting the dirt and getting the sod and trying to get it to stay. This way, you know, naturally stuff's going to grow, the bushes and then the grass, and eventually you'll have a grassy mound for a fraction of the price. Very smart here by the KC crew. Love to see the ingenuity. Okay, about 68 feet on this one. Gonna take a full heave into the tail end up the hill on the elevated basket. A full heave it was. Yeah, those putts are tough. I ain't got that Gannon distance yet. Gonna get there one day. Easy par here is gonna be fine. No need to go roller, be a hero off the tee. Just play an air shot in the middle. Take what you got. Hole 5 is gonna be the same as the last time we played it in 2023, except for a new tee pad. Also, huge thank you for putting in new tee pads at this course. That was the hardest part about this hole. In the past, on an already nice, fair, but challenging hole, you had an impossible tee pad where you really couldn't throw the forehand that you wanted to step into because of that tee was too slippery. I don't know though, I feel like this one does set up for the forehand well, but I'm going back and forth between forehand DD3 and Explorer on just a straight backhand. Right now I'm feeling really good with my straight backhand shots. And so I think I'm gonna let that make my decision here. Go with my understable Explorer. Hit it on some hyzer down this gap. All you're trying to do is get up top over there. You know, obviously getting anything off to the right is a little bit of a bonus, but just being on top of the hill over there is all you really need. Or you can just miss on the local gap, and that's gonna work out so well. Okay, I need to remember, if I do miss this backhand, standing up on it a little bit, you can somehow, or sometimes, get to an even better spot than you imagined. You know, a lot of you guys are probably wondering, Connor, how do even your bad shots always work out somehow? You know, there's a number of reasons. Number one, I'm out here putting in the work to be a better player every day, and stuff like that matters. Trees know about it. They see me out here saying hello every day, working on avoiding them with my disc. Also, I use code Connor every time I get a disc from OTBDiscs.com, which not only gives me free shipping, saving me money, and maybe giving me more money to spend on another disc, you know what I'm saying? But also creating a little bit of extended luck out on the course. Results may vary, but the luck will always come. You just gotta throw the disc enough times. So go get your disc at OTBDiscs.com, code Connor, free shipping. Lucky lanes, we like those. As I mentioned, we're a little bit out of position, but not in a bad way, because we have options. I can throw Spike Hyzer backhand into this green, or I think the best shape might be the flex Annie forehand. I might even play a low punch forehand into that hillside. I think that's gonna be my best play. Punch a forehand with the OTB color shift zone down below the branches, so I don't have to deal with the luck factor of getting through them. And just slide up that uphill slope that's at the base of the circle one there. And boom, just like that, we got to the base of the hill at least. Didn't necessarily slide up it. Probably should have used our Bushnell rangefinder to know the precise distance so we could have had the exact amount of power we needed. But vague shots get vague results. Either way, birdie looks, or happy Connor. Equal happy Connor. Now I know this pond probably has one of the least amount of flow on the course, but all I'm gonna say is they don't have dye in there, and I see millions of massive tadpoles. I don't really see all those tadpoles in the ponds that have the dye in them, so yeah, let me know in the comments, do you like for the water to look unnatural at the expense of the animals? Of course you freaking don't, because you're here on the goddamn Connor O'Reilly YouTube channel where we love nature and bonsai and anything that has to do with taking care of our plants and surroundings. And so of course we don't want dye in our water. All the other course changes are great, but get rid of the dye, you guys. Do you really need it? It looks corny. I don't think it even looks good, if I'm being honest. It's like real fake news. Your pond ain't blue, and we know it. So now you're gonna sit here, put some blue dye on it that just looks unnatural, and quite frankly, terrible to anyone who has an attention span more than a toddler. Not sure what that has to do with it, but you know, we're over here ranting. Here we go. Nice clean putt for player A, and that's a birdie. Solid start so far. Apparently, I'm just parring the even holes, birdieing the odd holes, which I ain't mad at, because the odd holes so far are the harder holes. So you do the math. We're down in the game, feeling good. Hole 6, another hole that's seen change. We used to tee, I believe, at that tee right there in front of us. A little bit more of like a putter shot to the corner, and then same approach as we had in the past, across the valley, narrow wooded tunnel valley that is. Out of bounds stakes here on the right. Also, obviously, narrow gap here off the tee. So Choose a disc that you feel most comfortable hitting this gap with and getting a little bit of left finish. The key is you have to make it to the top of that rise to be in line with the gap, and it's not a very big gap. So distance is very specific here. I'm going Discraft ESP Force on this tee shot to avoid that OB on the right. Make sure I get the distance. And that's why I'm throwing the Force, because I can hit it flat out at that out of bounds. And the 12 speed rim has more chance to skip on that upslope than a slower disc might, even though the distance maybe isn't a typical distance driver distance. That one felt great. Let's see if it's aligned. Okay, I did in fact get to the wide part of the gap. Maybe could be a few feet over, maybe another 10 feet. Gives me dead straight backhand at it. But where I'm at, I can either throw a hyzer backhand or the little small flex forehand, which I think I like the flex forehand. Makes the gap a little bit bigger for me. And also when I think about the way the forehand's gonna kick, it's gonna be out here to the open. The backhand has a chance to be down there in the bushes. So I'm gonna go Captain's Raptor, a little bit of flex. And this is one you kind of have a backstop, so you might as well play aggressive. Just make sure you hit the gap, take what comes. Overturned it, but I used code Connor. So, y'all wanna go see where it's at? If you're not using code Connor, that shot I think will convince you. It was close to good. And then the woods happened, and they were on my side. Definitely used code Connor when I got this Captain's Raptor at OTBDiscs.com. And this hat from Cardinal Discs, and that loot bag from Loot. That code Connor is going to be universal for all three of my sponsors. And anytime you use it, it helps support me, keeps me out here on the road. Appreciate y'all. Hole 7, I believe they shifted the pin to the right a little bit on this one. 420 feet of dead straight tunnel action. There is an out of bounds walking path on either side of this hole, so you don't have endless room to kick left or right, so you got to make sure to stay in the gap here. Avoid hitting any of the trees. Most likely a fairway shot for most of the players in the field. I'm going to go with that Nordic Phenom Horizon PD. A little bit of left to right wind thanks to the signature CO loop bag. It's going to be important to get your read on this one. Now pop it on some turn. Let it slowly fight. I gotta remember on these tees, they're so long, I don't need to, I'm used to standing like a foot off the back, or a couple, at least a step off the back I should say. But on these tees I can just stand at the actual concrete back of the tee and I have almost more than enough room, which is amazing. Thank you, crew. Okay, there's our little bit of turn, stabling out quicker than we'd like. But had a nice controlled flight, didn't hit a tree, and that's the main goal here. I definitely can keep it a bit lower, put it on a little bit more turn. Starting to learn that disc. It's been a couple weeks of throwing it now, and I'm really starting to like it. You know, whether it was feedback from the players that persuaded the decision to move this pin or not, I do want to say thanks to them for having the wherewithal to do it, because I feel like I was one of the players who was saying that I didn't like this position right here because of the way these couple last fairway trees just make it a little bit of a lucky finish. Whereas trying to pure a straight line, you can at least get to these three trees in front of the basket before you have anything unlucky happen, which at that point, you know, you're 20 feet or in. And so I totally like this change. Creates more fairness on a wooded hole that was playing close to good, but now is optimized. Tailwind C2. I'm gonna jump this one in there. Make sure to get the pop on it. Oh, just off. Saving it for the tourney. That's what they all say. I got to give a shout out to Squatch bags as well. They hooked me up with that legend bag, and it truly is legendary. Best bag I've ever worn. Holding up really nice, not much different than the day I got it so far. Even went through the Poison Ivy power wash. Good to go. Hole 8 is going to be the same as it was in the past. Maybe it's lost a tree trunk or two somewhere in here, but the size of the gap feels about equal to what it was in the past. You got to get out of the gap and put it by that FPO pin straight ahead on the hill to give yourself a chance for the long blind approach. The better your drive, the better your chances, obviously, but amplified on a hole like this. I'm going to go forehand, Kobe Bryant. It's another hole where you have forehand, backhand options, but the kicks for the forehand are more forgiving. And yeah, we're all about forgiveness. Left to right wind, so I'm going to make sure to pop it flat. Kind of right at those bullseye whiskers on the right side of the FPO pin location. Well, missed the gap, kick down to the right, the way the spin of a forehand typically does. And let's see if we can scramble for par, prove to you guys why forehand is the better miss. Really just need to get on the top side of the FPO pin here, but the farther I get, I could have a sight line on the basket. So I'm gonna go justice. Make sure I don't go OB long or right, but still throw something a little longer than the zone. Okay, we got up there. Should have a manageable opportunity to save that par. I've got about 400 feet to the basket. If you're wondering where that basket is, it's in this stand of big trees straight ahead. Except for the out of bounds here, bubbles in between me and it, not giving you too much room on the right, only maybe 40 feet to the right of the basket, 45 feet, and maybe equally on the short side. So you're gonna wanna play an overstable disc. Left is the miss. We're gonna go stiletto, Opto X. Pretty strong left to right wind. Uphill run up, so we're gonna make sure to grunt it, hit it. Trusted the overstability of that stiletto to come back, and definitely flirted with the right side OB line. I should be up there with some kind of obstructed putt. Definitely not the best opportunity to save par, but an opportunity is an opportunity. We're gonna take it. This was definitely my final reminder. Not only is that out of bounds looming if you miss off to the right, but also these thick line of bushes are here, whereas on the left side there's only one set of bushes there pin high with a lot more of a friendly gap. Here pin high to the right. Oh man, there is a gap here. I got lucky to find it. Let's see if we can shoot this falling knee putt and drain it. Hard to tell if I'm in or outside the circle. Where are the whiskers, you guys? They just stop. All right, we're gonna need more circle one whiskers on this hole because I really can't tell if I'm inside or out. I'm gonna say I'm inside just for the in cases. In case of in case. Hobbit hole putt. Oh, player B's going to drain it, we already know. Honestly good. Hello. There was the gap I putted through. Big enough for me to fit through, so it was a real gap, not just a gap in the foliage. First bogey, it's all right. We'll bounce back. The telephone post gap is back for hole 9, final hole of this front 9. If you're gonna wanna check out that back 9, it's gonna be on OTB Discs YouTube channel. So go check that out. It's gonna be up hopefully by the next day. You know, I'm gonna get this up tonight, Wednesday night, because you know we go straight to the grind when we're done practicing, edit it, get it up for you guys. Anyways, enough rambling. You're gonna check the back 9 there, but this is the final hole of the front. Let's finish strong. 268 plays a little bit up the hill though, so it's gonna play longer. And the way you have this narrow gap with a bit of a high floor in this rock wall and the low ceiling brought on by that branch, you only have maybe 5-6 feet of height there to work with, and that makes this hole feel a lot more difficult and more powerful of a shot than you typically would throw at this distance. Forehand and backhand is going to be a pick your poison here. What do you hit the gap best with? Into this headwind, I think I like the backhand MD3 Iron Samurai. Just make sure to clear that rock wall. Play a smooth hyzer. Little kid wailing in the distance just razzed me, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Try one more at the forehand. See if I can convince myself otherwise. Now, one more backhand with the compass, just to solidify our choice. And with a stronger mind this time, not listening to the crying baby on the playground. There it is. That's the gap. Maybe we'll just throw the Connor O'Reilly Delaware Champion Compass that you can find exclusively at otbdisc.com. It's going to find the gap for you. That should probably be my shot. What am I thinking? There's only one option. We're going to scramble the first one out. I might just go with the compass because I can hit it at a flatter angle than this MD3. Make sure to check out for the black locust thorns before you get on a knee. Anything designed to deter a 20-foot giant sloth and a mammoth will enter your skin easily. Low ceiling, pretty tough shot. I'm going to go zone, color shift, OTB run. You're going to need only the best options to throw only the best shots, and I think that's inbounds. Opportunity to save. .28-footer, probably the most important distance in disc golf. Into the heady. Oh no. Gotta pop it, y'all. Alright. Time to reset as we head into this back nine. Get back on that birdie train. Gotta hit the gap on this hole. Whether you hit the ceiling or not, doesn't matter as much as being aligned in the gap. So that's gonna be my focus when I throw this hole, either later or tomorrow. Probably tomorrow. That is going to be a wrap for the front nine here at the Kansas City Wide Open at Badrock Creek. I'm Connor O'Reilly, and if you didn't know, I shoot and edit all my videos on my own. You know, not like them other guys pawning it off to others to decide which clips are right. You know, it's all curated by the man himself. And so every like, every share, every subscribe, I really appreciate a lot. So I want to urge you guys to share this video with a friend who might enjoy watching the changes at this beautiful course. Don't forget to go to OTB Disc YouTube channel to check out the back nine coming soon. You're not going to want to miss it. The back nine is a beast. And let's see if we can finish strong.